The Tecno Spark Slim has been everywhere lately. People are talking about it like it's the new standard for budget phones. So I had to get my hands on it to see if all that hype is actually real. From the moment I unboxed it, I understood why people are paying attention. It's thin, it feels premium, and Tecno clearly wants this to be the phone that turns heads in the budget segment. But beyond the design, what really matters is how it performs in real life. So I used it, I pushed it, and in this video, I'll tell you exactly what Tecno got right, what they didn't, and whether this phone deserves all the attention it's getting. Let's get started. Before we get into the experience of using the Spark Slim, here is what you get inside the box. You get a 45-watt charger, a USB-C cable for charging, screen protector, SIM ejector tool, some papers, and the phone itself. For the price, it's going for around 298,200 naira, which is roughly around $170. Tecno is positioning this phone to sit at top of the budget category. The question is, should you buy this ahead of the Infinix Hot 60 Pro Plus that is also slim and shares a lot of similarities? Subscribe to the channel if you want to see both phones side by side. My unit has 8 GB RAM and 256 GB storage space, and that's the only model available. RAM management on the phone is impressive as it keeps apps running in the background smoothly. I mean, if you consider the price, you can just do a little bit of multitasking and it will be okay. Let's talk about the design. It's slim, it's comfortable to hold in hand, and the slide cover at the back makes it sit firmly in your hand. The back of the phone is plastic and it feels slippery without a case. I have the white color option with me here that looks great, but it catches on to stains and dust. The Spark Slim feels weightless and it's one of those phones that disappears in the pocket. There is a black colorway that will do good at hiding the stains. The camera visor at the back is reminiscent of the iPhone Air and it looks like we have two cameras, but really it's a single 50 megapixel lens. It's one of those compromises on this phone and we'll talk about it before the end of the video. Tecno also added a mood light around the camera that comes up when there is a notification on the phone or when you are charging the phone. There are a number of things that the mood light does, including serving as a flash for calls. You can do a little bit of customization in the mood light setting of this phone. We have two speakers here with Dolby Atmos and the Spark Slim sounds good. Even the iPhone Air doesn't have two speakers. The SIM card tray is at the bottom and the phone supports dual SIM card, but there is no slot for memory expansion. The volume and unlock key are by the side and they are barely visible. We have an IR blaster up top and I didn't even know how Tecno managed to fit in a lot of things on the hardware. The phone has an IP64 rating against dust and water splash resistance. The design is awesome and the Tecno Spark Slim is one of those phones that you will take out in public and people will ask you, which phone is this? The display of the Tecno Spark Slim is punching above its class. It is large, slightly curved, with a high resolution and 144 Hz refresh rate. You need to know that it mostly stays around 120 Hz all the time, and it only hits 144 Hz in the settings, messages app, and the phone call app. Can we really say it's 144 Hz? You can also choose to pin certain apps to stay at 120 Hz all the time, but I haven't seen any app take advantage of the 144 Hz on this phone. The screen is responsive to touch, colorful, sharp, and contrasty. Because of its size, playing games or streaming on the display feels really good. The Spark Slim display is also protected by the Gorilla Glass 7i, which is impressive. The bezels around the display are also quite minimal. Peak brightness here is 4500 nits, which is flagship level, but if you don't put the brightness in auto and you reduce the brightness outdoor, you'll struggle to see the display. The fingerprint scanner is also on the display. It's an optical fingerprint scanner and it's quite fast and unlocking the phone. One thing that I didn't like much about the display is the haptics. While typing, it felt cheap and mushy. It wasn't the experience I got with much more expensive devices. The display of the Tecno Spark Slim is great, and I don't think there's any display around its price that is better. The phone is powered by the MediaTek Helio G200. Something in me wish we had a MediaTek Dimensity chipset on this phone, but I know if they used that, the price of this phone would have been higher. I feel this is an area where Tecno compromised to keep it cheap. At the same time, you still think about affordability. The performance isn't bad, the phone feels fast, and it runs games smoothly. And I haven't experienced any lags or overheating extremely when pushing the phone above its weight. I will make it clear that the phone isn't built for gaming, but it handles games quite nicely. Day-to-day tasks like scrolling social media, calls, and even AI features are handled neatly on the phone. Apps open up smoothly, and there wasn't a time I saw anything stutter or take too much time to open. Performance overall is decent on the Tecno Spark Slim. The Helio G200 is what we have on most phones around its price category. What about software? We have Android 15 based on iOS 15 running on the Tecno Spark Slim. What has changed about the software? Well, it's still the typical iOS experience, but it's a lot faster in terms of animations and fluidity. The software doesn't feel heavy and bloated with apps as it used to be. You still get those pre-installed apps, but the user interface and user experience feels a lot better. I love how the app icons look and feel when scrolling around the display. Tecno has improved their software so much that you can also multitask with split screen and app in app. I also love this side panel that keeps your most used apps and your most recent files together for quick access. You can also sign in multiple accounts on the phone, which is a feature many of us love. The dynamic port is also impressive, and it functions like the dynamic island on iPhones. You can customize in the settings. As for software updates, I don't know if we are getting any. There is no clear communication from Tecno, but I think we should have at least 2 software updates on this phone. Going by the track record of Tecno phones nowadays, they mostly give you between 2 to 3 software updates. Let's talk about network performance, because that's something a lot of creators will overlook, and I tested it to make sure it's okay. The Spark Slim supports the usual GSM and 3G bands plus LTE for 4G. In my experience, it held the network pretty well. Calls were clear, data speeds were stable. I didn't deal with random drops even in areas where reception usually struggles. It's not doing anything groundbreaking, but it's reliable enough that you don't think about it, which is the whole point. Wi-Fi performance was also solid. It connects quickly, holds signal strength across a room, and the download speed felt consistent. I streamed videos, updated apps, and backed up photos without any slowdown. Again, nothing flashy, just steady and dependable. The Tecno Spark Slim has a suite of AI features, and my favorites are in the AI gallery, where we have the AI image eraser and AI image extender. As the name implies, you can erase things in pictures or increase the size of a picture. There are a lot more features in the Tecno AI settings tab, and you can have fun with all of them. I have a dedicated video talking about Tecno AI linked in the description of this video. You should also know that all the AI processing happens in the cloud, not on device, which means your data will be sent to the cloud before getting an answer or maybe redefining an image. If you're offline, none of the AI tools on the Spark Slim will work. The Tecno Spark Slim comes with a 5160 mAh battery. You should get a whole day battery life out of the phone with heavy usage. Under casual use, you can get up to 4 days. There were days I kept this phone without really using it, and the battery barely dropped. It also takes around an hour to charge the phone from 0 to 100 using the 45-watt charger it came with in the box. Most slim phones out there from Samsung and iPhone compromise on battery, but the Tecno Spark Slim begs to differ. It's great to see a slim phone with a good battery life. There are buyers out there like me that don't compromise on battery. Battery is top of the list when I'm buying a phone for myself. The battery life on this phone is really good. Now we have a single 50 megapixel camera on this phone, and that's an area where Tecno obviously compromised. Others might not say it, but I'm going to say it. Having an ultra-wide lens here would have been useful. The single lens does a good job, however, in good lighting condition. Even at 2x zoom, you still get quality photos that you can use. The images are sharp and colorful, and you get a ton of details using the 50 megapixel option in the camera app. I was also impressed with the low light images I snapped using the Spark Slim. The images are good enough for social media, especially with the 50 megapixel option. I'm going to emphasize that again. The size of the pictures might be heavier, but the quality is there to match and balance everything. The selfie camera also delivers impressive shots in well-lit environments. You can shoot 2K videos at 30 frames per second with the front and back camera. The camera is okay, but I feel having an extra lens at the back of this one would have made a lot of sense. And Tecno also tried to trick us into believing this phone actually has 2 cameras instead of 1, which is I find as a bit of a gimmick. So after using the Tecno Spark Slim for a while, it's clear why there is a lot of hype around the phone. Tecno nailed the design. The display is one of the best you'll find anywhere near its price, and the battery life honestly surprised me. For a slim phone, it holds its own, but like every device in this category, it comes with a few trade-offs. The single rear camera does the job, but the lack of an ultra-wide lens is something you'll notice if you take a lot of photos. And while the software has improved, you'll still need to deal with some of the usual high-res extras. At the end of the day, the Spark Slim feels like a phone built around priorities. Tecno focused on design, display, and battery, and if those are your top 3, you will be very happy with this device. If camera flexibility and raw performance matter more to you, you might want to look around. Let me know in the comments what you want to see next. And if you want to see this phone compared to the Infinix Hot 60 Pro Plus, that video is coming soon if this video hits like 600 likes. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to see you in the next video. That was all.